The matinee in Dunedin, we could hear this strange noise when the show was about to begin. We were listening in the curtain. We thought, what is that sort of rattling noise? And when the curtain went up, all these 67-year-old ladies out there for the matinee, and they all had teacups, and they were making this we thought this was terribly funny. And then we started the show, and we absolutely could not make them laugh. They were perfectly happy sitting there thinking, oh, these nice young men, you know, they've shaved very nicely, you know, and their hair is very neat, you know, their clothes, and they polish their boots and all this kind of thing. They liked us. They had no idea what the comedy was about at all. And after about 20 minutes, I had a very good Old Testament weather forecast when I came out as a forecaster, and I forecast the plagues. And there was a line then moving in from the south-southeast, boils. Always got a huge laugh. So I said to the others, I said, I'm going to get the first laugh today. And they said, you won't make them laugh. And I said, they'll laugh on boils. So when I got to that moment, we were putting money on it. I mean, there was about 20, 30 quid, it was a lot of money in those days, was floating around. And when it got to the point, I could see them in the wings. I said, and moving in from the south-southeast, I said it really loudly so that their deaf aids would pick it up. I said, boils. Nothing. Except screams of laughter from the wings. I work with Sellers a lot. That's in the book, because I actually wrote for Sellers for about 18 months, and I wrote 3 movies for him. But I liked Peter Sellers. He was very nice to me. And I saw this horrible biopic of his, you know, on television. And I saw bits of him crazy. Most people have got crazy bits, you know. And in his case, I suspect he was very crazy some of the time. But he was so friendly and wonderful to work with. I mean, the laughs were just terrific. He used to take us to the theatre. He took us to Hair.
And would you joke with him?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we joke. And he was very funny. He told wonderful stories about sort of music hall days. But I had a lovely time with him, and I also adored Seacombe.
Right.
I met him, and he's just one of the best people in the world, you know. It was just all heart and warmth and fun and kindness, and much sharper than you'd think with someone so sweet. I mean, he said to me once he'd always been puzzled at the London Palladium why they would roar with laughter at all the sketches, and then when he sang opera, he said there'd be even more applause. And yet when he was singing the opera, they didn't really seem very interested. And he said, I suddenly realized that the reason they clapped so much after I'd finished the opera was that they were applauding themselves. And I thought that's a very...
Yes.
You see what I mean? And he was full of those very...
The fact that they're appreciating it.
Yeah, clapping themselves for appreciating it. So although he was so wonderfully warm, he was also wonderfully observant, like Ronnie Corbett, you see. Now, there's a lovely guy.
It always seemed to be Ronnie Corbett, and I met Ronnie Corbett, was very similar to the Ronnie Corbett you thought would be the guy who used to sit in the chair and tell the jokes, whereas Ronnie Barker, played from Fletcher to Ronnie Barker, seemed quite a country man.
Barker was an actor, if you see what I mean, a character actor. Right. When I first met him in '66 doing the Frost Report, everyone knew his face, but they didn't know his name because he didn't play big leads in those early days, you know, but he could do anything. He could do a Bulgarian peasant or an aristocrat. He could do absolutely anything. But he was very much an actor and a very jolly man, whereas Ronnie Corbett was more of a performer. Ronnie could go out in cabaret and bring the house down, you know, as a solo act, and that wouldn't have been, because Ronnie Barker would have had to be in character. You see what I mean?
Yes,
it would have been a monologue in character, whereas Ronnie Corbett could really go out and just talk to the audience. I mean, it wasn't exactly his personality, it was his personality, you know, tweaked up a little bit, but basically it was Ronnie talking. You said something very good to me. I don't know if you remember the words, but you said to me, this audience has seen you do it right many times.
Right.
It's much more fun for them when you do it wrong. And that was very helpful to me. You said that to me about the middle of the first week. And from that moment on, I thought, that's right. This is not about presenting in a glass case a perfect performance. They've seen it. They know it.
Yeah.
But every time, and I found something else quite interesting on the second night, I hadn't seen it on the first night. I was probably taking in the arena. But right at the end of the first burst of Spanish music, the opening number, all the musicians just sat up in their chairs and went, "Ole!" and sat down again. And it totally broke me up. And once I laughed, the audience laughed, and somebody said it was really good because it just said we're having fun.
Yeah.